one word, and that is macrame.
Macrame.
Welcome to the podcast. Corey, can you do us a non-salesy intro?
Welcome to the Bacon and Down podcast. We get here roughly every Tuesday when CookieCon's not happening, and we bring you a little spurt of marketing.
Marketing spurts. Open the nuggets, not to be confused with no house.
And not to be confused with macrame.
Which, don't worry, we'll forget it.
If you are just tuning in and you do not know why we keep saying macrame, last week we could not remember the word macrame. We thought it was macaronage, which is very close.
Well, what is macaronage?
Macaronage is when you make macarons, the stirring part of it.
It goes and macrame is
thread stirring.
You just don't know.
Threads.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to join us in the Facebook group, it's Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook.
Let's up our energy.
If you want to join us in the group, it's Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook.
Every time I try to let someone into the group on Facebook, it says you're asking for too much data.
What?
Please try again.
Sorry, guys. The group is closed. Do not go
I don't know what it's doing. So I'll click to let people in, and it will have that repeatedly pop up.
Are they getting in?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm clicking the button.
I've noticed that Facebook has been glitchy this week.
Let's blame it on
Especially
Facebook.
business week, specifically.
Good.
Also, I got a warning. I use FeedHive as a scheduling software, and it was like, hey, Facebook's API is down. That was yesterday. We were having the problem yesterday.
I've been having it all week.
I don't. That sounds like a you problem. As everybody says, it's your efficiency.
So if you're in the group, welcome. If you didn't make the data surge, see you soon.
Okay, Corey, it was your
anniversary. It's my wedding anniversary.
Wait, before we jump into this rather interesting story, Corey said, hey, Heather, do you have my wedding anniversary written down? I said, oh, yeah, I like keep track of everyone's life events. Is it on your calendar? Yeah. What day? I said, why? Do you not know the day?
I just know. It's at the beginning of May. But now I know it's May the 4th. Be with me and Nate.
That is so wild that you had
You know my ex-husband's birthday. Why would I not think that you knew what that birthday was?
I like to know when you're getting a child support payment. I like to know when you're having a divorce anniversary. I like to know when you're having an anniversary. That is a little thing. I told my whole family, you'll not remember anything. You will not make peace with it, remember anything. So when anything happens within the family, I like to write it down in a timeline of events.
Divorces? Maybe we don't want to remember.
Absolutely. That's my favorite part. Scroll back through. Oh, yeah, this is when they got the divorce.
My favorite thing is Snapchat giving my memories back.
I hate.
Live.
Because Corey finds only the embarrassing ones and then sends it to everybody. And she's laughing with the thought of
it. Literally, when I wake up in the morning, Snapchat's like, hey, go and see where you were at 3 years.
See, here's the thing. Cell phones, smartphones, as we know them today, and the integration with tracking, like severe amount of tracking, was really maybe 9 years ago it started. So just now, he's like, here's where you were 8 years ago. You went here 4 years ago.
But all that beginning part of our life,
not a clue.
No idea.
Thank goodness. So, Corey, for your anniversary.
My anniversary.
The 4th of May.
May the 4th.
Walk us through it. Because it was eventful.
It was eventful.
So you guys splurged.
We went to my favorite restaurant on the
Inn
planet.
at Olive Garden.
The OG. I do love the Olive Garden.
You really, truly do. I've never seen someone light up.
I know. When we were at CookieCon, Heather was like, let's go get food somewhere off campus, if that's what you want to call it. Off Sandusky.
You'll never guess where we went.
Half a mile up the road. When Heather's like, do you want to try something else? And I was like, no. And she's like, Olive Garden. I felt like a joy in my body.
I'll say that Ohio, your bread
from Olive Garden in Ohio is different than the bread in Virginia.
Don't want to dog in the bread down here. You guys have more undercooked bread. Yeah,
yeasty dough
vibes.
Ours is like cooked with air. Yours is cooked with love.
Yeah.
It is different. You almost didn't need butter. And I say almost because you always need butter. But it was delicious.
It was.
And then they were out of ravioli. I know. I about burnt the steak down. But I got Heather's 5 cheese ziti.
Yeah,
that was good.
Corey and I were so exhausted to the point where you don't talk to the person at the table and you just kind of sit there quietly.
But the 5 cheese ziti was eaten.
But today, I'm so sorry. We're a little sidebar. Today I went to, and I decided to get the lasagna lunch portion.
You can get tiny little guy.
Monday through Friday.
Delish.
It was a cute little
buddy.
Will
you order again?
Yes.
Would you order that weird one that lady suggested to you?
It was too rich for my little bale.
What was it called?
Delectable. It was Chicken Alfredo?
No.
Oh, no. It had the little type of pasta with the pockets in it.
Is this Sadie?
No.
Chicken marsala.
Chicken.
That sounds right.
Something. It was close. It had your little things in it, but full of a different type of ricotta cheese.
Yeah, it had a name.
Oh, so we had let the waitress recommended what she wanted. Delicious, delectable, extremely rich though.
There's still a lot of cheese. You gotta be ready.
Lots of cheese. You almost have to be on your way to the bathroom while you're eating.
Not that you know the name of it to order it because we don't remember it either.
Sorry, guys.
And if you're screaming it right now, my bad. Macrame.
Okay, back to the anniversary. It's not mine, so I can't say anything.
I thought you were going to ask one. So we went to the OG. And if you guys know me, I always order the same meal at the Olive Garden. Really, honestly, I order the same meals at every restaurant I go to. But Olive Garden, and it has me, my heart and
in a
soul.
headlock. It has you.
It does.
It has.
It is the
grip.
cheese ravioli with marinara sauce. Lunch or dinner.
Usually dinner.
It's so good to me. And I think when you lock onto something you love, you don't let it go. Unless it's your first marriage.
That's good. I didn't even sit down and come. Neither did Rick when he served.
Neither did I.
Okay. Dial back in.
Okay, so I ordered the cheese ravioli.
Yum.
Nate ordered
Standard.
whatever. I think he ordered the chicken Alfredo that you had said.
Seems like.
The problem is when mine came out, it had sausage in it.
I've seen your experience.
I don't.
Corey has one of those smiles like, hey, quick question.
Just
a quick. Okay, so anyways.
I just don't feel like sausage belongs in an Italian dish. And I know there's some Italians out there screaming.
Macrame right now.
I feel like that at their breakfast
I think
food.
you have a weird. Here's the thing: if you're offended by what Corey just said, brace yourself. She also doesn't think bacon belongs on potatoes or salad. So take that for what it's worth. But walk us through the story.
Yes. So I get this. Okay, the one thing about ravioli is it's like a present in each bite. You don't know what's inside. So of course I'm just assuming it's cheese.
Fair.
No, let's go with sausage in there. Take one bite.
A little texty when you're not expecting
just imagine
it can be
biting into something.
off-putting.
Cheese. There's no teeth. Nothing.
no chew.
There's no chew. But biting into something you think is cheese, and there is chew.
Then you think curdled cheese.
I think something is
Curdle
going
going on there.
So I took a little nappione, which is the fancy word for napkin, and spittled it out.
You couldn't swallow it. Okay.
Do you know the feeling of eating something you don't?
I know that it is off-putting if you thought there wasn't supposed to be a chew in there. Why?
And the taste of cheese versus the taste of sausage.
Seeing
is
an adult
different.
regurgitate their food into the napkin, though, it is
No,
not
I did it
the
where
vibe.
you cover the like you cough.
Can't do that in this 2023 new normal.
Listen, my husband we're in our wedding anniversary. He's not going to leave me today of all days when I'm spitting up in front of him. So the waitress comes back, right? Could I eat the food? I sure can. But my heart gets sad when I don't.
I've seen the disappointment.
So I said, hey, ma'am, question for you. This was sausage and I just ordered cheese ravioli. Could I get a new one? And she said, we've actually been serving this all night. There's no way that it has sausage in it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I was like, oh.
Did you
So it really does have it does have some sausage. You want a bite? And she said, did you try it? I said, I sure did. That's how I discovered the sausage in there.
Uh-huh.
And she
surprise,
said-
sneaky, sneak attack, a sausage.
She said, show me. And I
Did it
said,
spit up?
I said, pray tell.
A spittle?
Come again.
Like a cut up one?
I thought it was a cut up one, but I got the spittled out one from my little trash pile. And I said, here you go.
And she threw up. And then you threw up. And then they
on each other. And she said, all right, I guess because you have proof, I'll go make you a new one.
Whoa, that's a weird experience.
So my food took twice as long to come out. I thought, you know what? Maybe she'll give me a discount.
That's what I was wondering. Next question.
No discount. She said free bread and salad.
You're not used to the OG.
She said I could get 10% off our next time we come in there.
10% off?
Whole 10%.
An old 10?
One free,
Not a 100?
one free little chocolate candy to go.
Little Andy's been on your time.
He's been on the house.
So then,
I was depressed. Like, this is souring this whole. I love the Olive Garden.
Love the Olive Garden.
I love it a little less now.
But you're going to go back. Are you going to redeem the cube?
I'm not going back to that Olive Garden.
I can't. It's weird now. It's awkward now.
Weird.
Yeah.
Because now if I see her again, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, the lady who made me open my spittle. Show her.
I would have shriveled up and died, but okay. You can always go back.
But like, why not just take my word for it? That was not cheese ravioli.
Why didn't she think? I mean, it's not like you're trying to get one over.
I still wanted the food. It wasn't like I'm like, I don't want to eat at the Olive Garden anymore because you messed up once.
Did you ask if you could keep the wrong order?
I did not. I didn't want it anyway.
Right. Because you probably just wanted what you wanted.
I just wanted what I wanted. I just wanted what I ordered. I love the Olive Garden. I love the cheese ravioli. It has me in a chokehold. That's just what my heart desired.
But now what that location has got just an air of like, when there's
almost
a problem.
Like if I'm going to go in there and I'm going to see this lady, I don't want to be sat in her section.
Mm-hmm. Because it's awkward. Now there's like you against her.
I feel
like trying to get one over.
I think it was me against the chef in the back. Like she's like, prove that the chef made it wrong. But like, I'm not. I just wanted a cheese wrap.
Yeah.
And that story is 100% fake.
Because how long
would never do that.
Still talking on it.
What's crazy is I actually saw this comment thread on Instagram talking about people's refunds. And this one baker, I don't even know her name. I don't know if it's a he or she or anything like that. One baker said that when a customer says, I didn't enjoy the cake, we actually threw it away because it was either too sweet or too crumbly, that she makes them send her a photo of the cake in the trash in order to get a refund.
That's insane. So just to recap, the whole Olive Garden thing, absolutely not true. Olive Garden sticks the landing every time, twice on Tuesday. Today, we did go. Obviously, it's on Tuesday night. The waitress, who's phenomenal, snuck us out a tiramisu. Last piece, she said, I didn't want to wait for you guys to order it. I didn't want you guys to be without. Olive Garden is truly just...
And the few times that they have made the order wrong, they have remanded it and given us like a free tiramisu after.
Just a great experience. But when you hear what happened to Corey, a lot of us likely were like, that's an unfortunate experience.
Yeah, like, the whole thing is awkward. They made you show the chewed up ravioli.
But tying it back into our own experiences, bakers, and frankly, monitoring a group of 40,000 people talking about refunds, the recommendation is to act like that a made up story, which puts such a weird vibe out to the client. It is awkward to have to. And so then, I know what you guys are thinking out there in podcast land. I want to know what the issue was. So I asked them to bring it back to me so I can do a taste test. Listen, man, it's old. It is old. That is a weird thing to ask.
At the end of the day,
their taste has got your brakes on.
Yeah, I know. I got to get my brakes checked out. At the end of the day, if someone said it didn't taste as we expected, you don't have their taste buds. There's nothing you can do to prove
I'll
it
bet
is.
you a lot of people like sausage ravioli, but Corey doesn't. So that doesn't mean that the chef is wrong, and that doesn't mean that Corey's wrong. It means that their expectations weren't aligned, and nobody is evil and nobody is wrong. And likely, I know, brace yourself, nobody was trying to get one over on each other.
I've never gone to Olive Garden wanting to not order pasta.
Right. So I think the good night trash truck man.
Hear it. They can.
You can. You don't listen to the podcast.
I can.
We'll hear this at 13 minutes in.
Looking up.
This man is like, I'm
going to take a full
never done a U-turn. 5-point turn. That's me.
But what we're saying is, if you felt any which way towards Olive Garden during that story, and you're like, how dare they? I can't believe they made her show the chewed up food. I can't believe they didn't take her word for it. I can't believe anything.
I can't believe anything. I can't believe anything anymore.
That means that you need to put yourself in the situation of what would you want someone do to you? So if you went to the Olive Garden, how would you want to be treated? If you ordered from a cake baker and they made something that was not what you had discussed, how would you want to be treated? Would you be fine with the 10% off? Odds are no, because you didn't get what you wanted.
So let's walk through it. Let's pretend you ordered a cake. By the time it got to a party, this is the big issue with cakes, is the transport and the temperature.
Uh-huh.
You get there. You say, hey, it's completely just fallen in on itself. What recourse do you want the baker to give to you?
So did the baker take the time to explain
that? That would be an important part. Cover your bases.
Yeah. Did you tell me to have my AC a-blasting?
Did you let me know what will happen if I don't follow these very specific rules?
Or did you say, I just assumed since you picked it up, you knew what you were doing?
Right. So we have a lot of that. He said, she said. But I saw in a comment, and forgive me to the person who made this amazing comment. I didn't catch the name. It was actually sent it to me. But it said, engage with the client as from the relationship standpoint and not from the transactional standpoint. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you'd be like, well, time and effort, that's money. Like, bring it back to me. Bring me back what you have. Prove that you didn't like it. And that's an extremely defensive mode to take. So let's say, just like Corey in the fake Olive Garden story, that client likely will not come back. You will have made the money from this set shirt. Great. If you did the partial refund, 10% off, 10% off of a $0 order because they never come back to you isn't probably the outcome you actually wanted for long-term growth. Mm-hmm. So when I unfortunately see this whole, it's us against them, fight to the death, bring me back the, thing, send a picture of it, all these kind of odd ways to get a refund. All I'm seeing is that this person today is destroying their funnel for the next year.
Yeah.
Because these people maybe buy from you once or twice a year, right?
Sure.
But this awkward experience, they're not going to be like, well, Shelly, she was so great to work with. I hate that I had to bring my trashed cake back to her, but I'll definitely order from her again.
I had to dig through the trash can and take a photo shoot in there.
Right. It's just a wild thing. But we get that emotion into the work provided. And sometimes I see, customers asking for refunds on product that does look absolutely 100% up to spec. Mm-hmm. And I think, and in the baker's like, well, that's not fair. It's a case-by-case basis. But again, work from the relationship standpoint first and not from the transactional. If it is a nightmare client, if they're going to write a review, even though I didn't want to give them a refund, can it make it go away? And then that's kind of what we see here when we take the short-sighted approach to a long-sighted business.
Mm-hmm. It's almost, I logged into TikTok this morning and this lady was like, I will never buy from this company again. Of course, I'm like, say less. I'm in there like swimwear. Tell me about this company I've never heard of. And she was like, I ordered 29 pieces, only 25 pieces.
This is a clothing store.
Mm-hmm. Of clothes, of cookies.
Gotta give a little more context in that.
She ordered 29 pieces of clothes, 25 pieces clothes showed up. So she said, hey, do you mind sending the final 4? Here's what they were. The company said, we actually looked on a video surveillance of the warehouse and saw that your package had 29 items in it. Mind taking a picture of what was sent to us? But wouldn't it be minus 4 pieces of clothing? Right. They said, could the box have been ripped open? But now she's got to go do a full-on investigation of the FedEx Corporation to see.
Right. And so I know that some of you guys are always like the twins and their refunds. But listen, man, the faster you can get to that refund, I think the more you'll have a client for life. And if you don't, then at least you will have gotten rid of the potential of hardcore loss. I don't think people realize how much bad reviews take from their wallet because they can't see it. You can't see what you never had.
You cannot realize the words that are going on behind your back of people being like, oh, I ordered from her.
I'd actually be more scared of somebody speaking in a community group about me than I would of a negative review these days because of how strong community groups can be a lead source or a lead destroyer.
And people run to them.
Run to them.
I want to say, instead of thinking it as they didn't like my artwork, just think of it as I'm just refunding some butter, flour, and sugar. Mm-hmm. Just to separate yourself. It's not that they don't like you. It's just something didn't jive well in that relationship. It can be salvaged, and then you never have to take an order from them again. But don't think of it as like an attack on you as a person.
I remember back to my podcast poll, most people never have had to refund outside of sickness or maybe a half order or one order in an entire year. That means very few people are out there trying to get one over on bakers. So with that in mind, that mission statement that people are not trying to get one over on you, that they may have just had a less than stellar experience, or you guys just have a different taste, or maybe here's the one thing, like I see a lot of people ask this one, and this one's always tricky, like, hey, the client says the colors didn't match. For some reason, this past week has been a colors didn't match week in the group.
Sage, there's so many versions of Sage.
But here's what I want to do. Corey's eyes can't see purple.
I cannot.
For whatever reason. Just light shades of purple to you look gray.
Yeah.
So Corey holds up this sweater cookie, I don't know, last year, and she's like, do you guys like my gray sweater? And we're like, the purple one? She's like, the gray one. We're like, the purple one? She's like, no, the gray one. So she has made an entire set. I think you just made it as practice. That's why we ended up eating it. But like, look at how we could argue to the death. It's like that blue and gold dress argument.
Yes.
Our eyes can see different colors, and why the client? Well, you're like, you could say the client's eyes are messed up. Who knows? Who knows?
Yes.
Got the right
Yeah.
grayscale going on. But if Corey had sent those purple sweaters to a client and said, "No, you're wrong." Hey, look,
Listen,
Facebook group.
they're not wrong, but I can't see that.
Yeah, literally.
Literally, I cannot see purple.
So it's just that, kind of the weird ways. I guess what we're really calling out here is the weird ways that people make clients jump through wild hoops to get refunds.
But you have to realize we're all clients. We're clients to Target. We're clients to the local steakhouse, the local diner. You think that these clients are so far away from you, but they are you. Like, how would you want to be treated? But let's go over some ways on how you can almost prevent issues like this coming up. My first one is have your terms and conditions locked down.
Yeah. You can't cover a butt once the butt's already been exposed.
Amen to
You
that.
gotta be mooning in business. So you gotta cover your butt proactively, and that comes to terms and conditions. Now, there's a cookie contract that we crowdsourced as a group. You can definitely grab from that. It covers a lot of potential issues.
And before you're like, okay, I'm just going to add this, and no one's going to read this giant terms and conditions thing. If I have a customer and they're acting like the color palette is so important to them, I'm going to say, outside of my terms and conditions, which are attached to the order, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm going to do the best of my ability to match this set to your theme. Nothing's perfect, as it's all hand
My eyeballs
mixed.
cannot see purple.
So if you want purple, you're good.
But that's a great point. So you can't, what I don't want to have to say, well, I had terms and conditions. You didn't read them. Again, now we got us against the client.
Do you see how we set ourselves up still for failure?
Yeah, we have to cover the butt in multiple ways. So like Corey said, when somebody's leaning into something that's very specific, like, hey, just so you know, to reiterate what my terms and conditions are.
And you guys know those customers. There's customers that are easy. I can tell they're easy when I'm only even just emailing them back and forth. Their words are jovial. They do not seem specific in anything.
Joe.
I love Joe. She said, do whatever you want. She said, light pink.
Joe's a cookie class client that just is like, she's like, I'm retired. I have nothing to do. I just want to spend my money doing what I want. And now has become Corey's favorite client and comes back to multiple cookie classes.
Yeah.
Bring your friends a
And
blast.
she's laid back. So I can know that if Joe orders from me, especially now that me and Joe have already had orders between us, I know what to expect from her in the future. I just got an order this week, and this lady is doing these can you be my godmother cookies from her daughter. I said, hey, do you mind?
Who's Archer's godmother?
Send you, I guess.
You didn't ask me, and I didn't get no cookies.
I didn't
You bake
Do
me
you
an
want
extra
a
one.
So she said,
Does that mean I have to have him as a kid if you die?
yeah.
No, he's good if I go back
If
to
me
the-
and his dad die.
But Nate? Wouldn't Nate?
No, Nate's cut out. Nate's outie. If I die, Nate's gone.
Oh, really?
He said he's even moving
the
away.
stepdad is out?
If
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Arch has no
if
tie
I
to
trump
Rick,
the
technically.
stepdad,
I think you would.
you said Arch has no tie to Rick. It's this literal
no, tied
biological
to Nate.
Oh.
Like if I'm not there, Nate and Arch have nothing in common.
Okay, if you're not there, Arch goes to Rick.
right, for sure.
If Rick crockled, does he go to Rick's wife or does he go to Nate? Or does
He
go to
has
me?
no tie to Caroline
They're
or
the
Nate.
step parents.
Yeah, but they have no tie. Nate said he would be taking the pets.
Okay,
and moving away.
is Arch going with them?
I guess he's going with
Was
you,
he
man.
coming to me?
I think so. The
Sorry,
godmother.
step parents. Me with no children. Come on in, Arch. We're gonna
Take a
step away.
seat. That's red.
Oh, interesting. If you guys know any information on that, if I would be having a kid.
I got an email this week. That has nothing really to do with my
I
time.
don't want to hear about it.
I got this email this week from a potential client. And I said, hey, do you mind sending me some inspo pictures? Because what she was saying was very specific.
Okay.
The
This
photos-
is the God parent
Yes.
one?
The photos she sent were of cookies done in fondant. If you know what
Fondant.
fondant
Isn't
looks
that
like.
fondant?
Fondant.
Fondant.
Fondant. If you know what that looks like, it's stamped. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
perfect.
Right, but it doesn't taste as good.
If you make it marshmallow,
I'm
I don't know. I
arguing
told her,
about it.
I had to explain to her, instead of just being like, I work with royal icing, I said, you know what? No.
Good.
That
Educate.
is not the right way to deal
Because
with that
a lot of
client.
people don't know what royal icing is. If it's on a cookie, it looks like icing.
Right.
to
So I
the general
explained what you sent is fondant. It's made with stamps, which are perfect. I said, what I do is hand letter
Imperfect.
typed royal icing, and it might not be perfect
did
like
she
that.
say?
She said, oh, that sounds good. I just looked it up. And I still want to go ahead and do it with you.
Okay, great. You set the expectations and then you adjusted misaligned expectations before money ever exchanged. I got to say, once money passes into a bank account, you got a contract. You have entered a contractual agreement to whatever that email was to do it.
That's my second thing. Set expectations. I saw in the group this week that someone had a customer that was upset because she said, oh, the cookies will be on the porch for you. The customer assumed somebody was going to greet them when they picked up their cookies and no one did.
Contactless porch pickup is my favorite phrase I've ever learned.
Contactless porch pickup is what you have to say. But you have to set the expectation. Hey, I actually won't be here when you come to pick up your cookies. You'll be able to pick them up from the porch. No one will be there. If you don't mind just sending me a message so I can make sure you got them.
So I know what people are thinking. How can we think of every issue and address it before it happens? You can't. But you can do a lot of damage control. That said, some things you can kind of say, in the past, clients have been confused by this thing. Yeah. Now that I address it ahead of time, clients are less confused by this thing. It was a good idea to address it.
I live in a townhouse. It's confusing to drive through where I live. There's so many odd townhouses right there at the end. So what I do now, because I see so many people staring and they're driving slowly by, is now I send a picture of my townhouse.
I love it.
Here's what you can look for. This is my townhouse. So the expectation is set there. You're not having to be like, rang the wrong door there over there. Now
another expectation I've seen recently, it feels like, so what the cookie community is going to go into, it's kind of lull here in the summer, but right before they get a lot of angst because people are getting the last of their orders, a lot of teacher appreciation, a lot of last day school graduation. So what happens is you got these clients who have extremely high, what do you call it, back and forth?
A lot of communication.
Yeah, high communication, and you're not a high communication person. What you got to do is set that expectation. I think you had talked about this on a podcast a long time ago, but it'll be like, hey, awesome, details are finalized. Next time you'll hear from me, it'll be a reminder about your pickup 5 days out. Listen, if you'd like to make any changes to the design set, there is an additional charge, but do not hesitate to reach out and we can work through it. What you've done there is said, hey, listen, I'm not talking to you anymore. You said it in the nicest way, and then you said, hey, and if you do want to talk to me, which you can, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
And when they do, if they do, you can charge accordingly, and it is okay, because at this point, if you do not set that communication expectation, you're on the hook for every email.
And to me, imagine spending this amount of money on cookies. Literally, we're going to eat it and poop it out. Cool. That's not inappropriate. We all do it. Imagine saying, I want to give you this amount of money. In our last correspondence, you were like, oh, I love those colors. Is that confirmation? Are you going to, is my order in? Are we good?
I saw a horror story in another group. And again, if I'm not managing the group, I'm in the comments eating popcorn.
Yes, she is. She sent it up to me.
Absolutely. Screenshots. This poor baker had said to the client, hey, here's the order. The client said it's too expensive. Baker said, understood. Very cordial. You're dead to me. Then the client came back. The potential client came back, said, hey, nobody else is taking this order. I want to go with you. Baker never responded because it was confirmed that they weren't going to do it. No money had exchanged hands. But here comes pickup day. And client's like, hey, I'm headed in your direction now. There's no cake. There's no order. There's no money. But there was no final cancellation confirmation either. So you can say he said, obviously I'm on the baker side for this one, but that doesn't mean that client won't write a bad review.
And you can't handle them. They don't think they're wrong.
No.
Is the issue there. So because they don't think they're wrong, it's almost like when someone wants to order from me and I can't take it, I'll be like, hey, I just want to let you know I cannot take that order. I am booked or I'm out of town.
But you close the door.
Yeah. Can I recommend two other local bakers to you? And then they'll respond with, yes, please recommend them, or they won't respond. But in writing. In writing. Physical writing. No, I cannot.
Absolutely.
I will say that's pretty crazy that the person said, like, now go ahead and take my order.
You see.
I see,
right?
Like, you went back and forth. She said, you're too expensive. It was never about the time.
And it's okay. Nobody else wants it. Then you got it, which you had discussed details. It was wild. I felt bad for the baker. However, it doesn't change the fact that now they've got an irate customer driving to their house with no cake in hand. Don't worry. So again, recap, have policies in place. Reiterate a policy that applies specifically to this client.
Yeah.
And then if you are unable to take this order, close the doors. It is, again, like I always say, write an email as if it's going to be read in a court of law. And you don't want to be embarrassed.
Amen to that.
Right. So even if you're like, well, this client's ghosting me, like they're clearly ghosting me. Absolutely. And just make sure that you close that door on the ghost as they walk out that door.
When I feel like the door's closed, I will archive that email. Like you are now out of my sight and out of my mind. But
it should have I would recommend that your message be the last.
Yeah.
And it be a cincher. It be a closer.
I love to finish it with, thank you so much for the opportunity to earn your business. I'm sorry it didn't work out this time. I'm looking forward to maybe, hopefully, earning it again in the future.
Yeah, I love the door lock sound.
We'll sign off, man. I love not even wondering if the door's cracked. No, the door is shut. Do you have a key? Because that's the only way you get back in.
That key's got money wrapped around it. So, then another thing. So when we talk about refunds, have your refund policy in place. Don't just wait until the worst happens and then be fumbling for what is a recourse.
Don't do it. Don't do it at
all. You're going to say there are times and places where different refund policies actually, I know that Corey and I say like full refund, but there are times where it's not a full refund issue.
Yeah, for maybe two of the cookies aren't the right color.
Absolutely. Yeah. When a client is like, hey, just want to let you know, if it starts with just want to let you know, I'm going to say it's likely not a full refund thing unless they're a huge lead gen source for you. In which case, it's truly a case-by-case basis. When you see us in the group, though, we can't go judge, jury, and executioner.
We don't
through everything.
know the whole story.
I don't know if you are not tattling on yourself. You're just telling.
The problem is when there's a one-sided story. Usually, it's in favor of the person typing it.
Yeah. I can see when somebody writes in a post and what they want out of the comment section.
I can see it a mile away.
Yeah, you want when you've already replied to the client and escalated it. You don't want to know what to say back to the client. You already done did it.
Another thing me and Heather have learned the hard way is stick to your policies. The minute you give them the opportunity to bend a policy, you've now told them that those policies mean nothing.
Absolutely.
And that the next time they can bend them.
But you know why we bend them? Because it's awkward to enforce them.
It's easier to say, okay, than it is. If someone's saying, oh, I can't come till 9.
Somebody in the Cookie College asked about this, and I was like, hey, when people try to bend your policies, stand firm with a no, but give them 2 options that are good for just you. And I saw this actually spoken about with children. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before.
I think you told me how to raise my kid.
So listen, with my god kid. But okay, so kids like, Mom, can we stay up? Like, no, but you can go to bed at 8 or you can go to bed at 9. What you've done is, no, you can't stay up, but you get a choice in your own adventure.
You can go to bed earlier or a little earlier.
But they'll pick 9.
They'll pick 9
But you knew that you wanted to go to bed at 9. So you gave them 2 options that work best for you, but still made them seem like they have freedom when they don't.
Yeah, I have a customer that's picking up cookies on Saturday. And I said,
Nate said, Ray got up before I could get a pick. Fuzz and Ray were napping together on Archer's bed.
Don't you love Pure Marriage Bliss?
Happy anniversary. You should do his picture is wearing a Santa hat.
Yeah, Nate texted me earlier. I was like, what did Nate say? I said, he said there were small mushrooms in the front yard.
Is that what marital bliss is? Hey, what were you saying?
I have a customer that's picking up cookies on Saturday. And I said, I have 2 options for you. You can porch pick them up between 1 and 4, or I can hand them to you between 4 and 6. Meaning I'm only going to be there 4 to 6. And she's like, you know what? I'll wait till 4 to 6. That sounds awesome.
So I think podcast land is thinking, what if they can't make it until 7? You know what you say? Contact less porch pickup on 7. I got to let you know, though, cookies don't do well in a humid environment.
Always do that.
So the sooner the better.
I say, you got to, hey, they're out there.
Yeah.
Heat is the nemesis of a cookie. I got to go.
They say, like, pets will constantly test boundaries.
They do.
The one time you give into it is the one time the pet's like, okay, that was made up. That was a made up rule.
Ray gets a piece of cheese in the morning.
No, 3 now.
Now it's 3 because he's tested it. He stares at me, and when I go grab my morning Diet Coke, he thinks what I've assumed and placed in his forethought is that I'm going to reach for the cheese as well.
And now he's gotten you up to 3 cheeses.
3 cheese? We're running out of cheese.
Dude is perpetually constipated. But that's what we're saying. So the client's going to test you because we're humans and that's what we do. How much can I get from this person? Like an interesting way a client can test you is like, oh man, I forgot to add 2. What they're saying is, okay, you're going to bake these. You're going to charge me for them? It may be like, oh, and I'll just do them real quick. I can do it. But hey, listen, just say, oh, awesome. I can adjust the invoice, send that over to you. You want me to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is called like, the management of people. People management is like, how can I get you what you want while also respecting what I need? And the way you can do that is kind of just work the problem backwards. Okay, the client needs this. I don't want to do it. What's the solution? Pay me to do it.
There's also a benefit to being confident with it.
Absolutely.
Not ho-humming. If I am
Fewer
wanting
words.
to, what my kid has taught me, is that if I don't just deliberately say my words, there is a little inch that he can push to a mile. So if I'm like, well, I don't know.
That means the door's...
It's just a little, now you got to just push a little bit harder. I'm almost there.
Absolutely.
But if you're like, I cannot do pickup on Fridays, Saturdays only, what time works for you? Because one's looking good
Only
for
is an
me.
aggressive word. Can you sub out only? Hey, while I can't do Friday, Saturday is very wide open. I'm pretty flexible between this time and this time. Again, only the times you want to work with, but it sounds like a feature and not a requirement. And you can kind of make people feel like they got something when they didn't because you sold it to them in a way they wanted to be shown how.
Amen. Amen to that. I know in the Buy Nothing, Sell Nothing group, when I post
my
something,
favorite
they
groups.
act like it's life or death if they get it. Then when I pick somebody, they'll be like, okay, maybe can I come later in the week?
You know why it's free? There's
Yeah,
no,
but
there's no
you
skin
just
in the game.
acted like it was going to save
There's
your
no
grandfather's
skin.
soul.
And I love the Buy Nothing, Sell Nothing groups because it doesn't matter what you post. If I don't think somebody will want it, somebody will want it.
Somebody will want it.
I could tell. It was a woman's daughter came back from school, college. She had a Tide that was open and used with her name on it because you could tell she didn't want her roommates to use it. Half the amount of comments
Do you
asking
know
for
how
a
much
Tide.
Tide is?
It's expensive, and
It's
I was
so
about to
expensive.
join.
I might sell my house to get
Listen,
it.
when my grandfather died, his shirt smelled like Tide, and I wanted to remember it. That's what the comment section are like.
I only give good things away in the Buy Nothing. I did a really, really nice wreath because I didn't want to be like a wreath hoarder. And the amount of people who begged for that wreath, the cat stroller, I did talk about that.
Someone said, "I gave you."
No, I kept that one.
Or,
Someone said my dog's uterus was removed.
Here you
Can
go.
I have it?
have it.
Yeah, and then I said, yeah, you can have it. Can you be here at 2? And she said yes. And then she was like, running late, we'll be here at 4. That's not running late. That's just deliberately not waking up. And then I saw her trying to put in a garden on my
Yeah, so really kind of managing people. And I like giving them the options that benefit you. It feels like they still had a choice. They still got something, but they didn't get one over on you.
My last tip that I have is you cannot over communicate too much on your end. When I was
Can I amend that?
Yeah.
Really long emails.
Okay.
Hard for me to read.
You send long emails.
I know, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would like to
You
apologize.
send the longest of the emails. You do break them up with paragraphs, though.
and bullet points. And
Anything
bolds.
that's bold is the only thing I read.
That's all I need you to read.
Okay.
The rest of it should cover my butt. The rest of it says the important part. The bold stuff is what you're going to read.
What I'm going to say as far as the communication is, not necessarily sending a booklet or a copy and paste thing, but setting the expectations like, hey, these cookies, they will not do well in the car. I actually write that in my handwritten note. Tip, don't put these in the fridge. Also, thank you for your order. I write that in every single card.
I would say assume that nobody will read it the first time. How many more times you need to communicate this? How many more times you may emphasize this depending on the order? If somebody's, again, cake people, bless your soul, it seems very stressful.
Yeah. Cake people, you might make more money than us cookie people.
You
But
put it
you're
right into
living a-
your
you're living a life.
He's like, cake people, I didn't realize that cakes implode. I didn't realize that cakes
they
have to be
burp.
in temperature control. What?
Cakes burp. Or is it belch?
Huh?
Cakes burp.
And what happens to them? Little,
Where the buttercream and then it comes out like a knot?
yeah.
That's a burp. That's a
Is
cake
it
burp.
air rising?
It's cake. I think it's air coming out of the cake and pushing on the buttercream. Like, let me out.
Wow. And then I know cakes,
They melt.
They melt. They fall in on themselves. The dowels.
To me, cake people, I don't understand. If we know cakes fall into each other, why not just always use dowels? Is that not an end all
But
be all?
sometimes they still fall apart with the dowels on the outside of the dowel.
Also, cake people, what's the difference? There's stick dowels and then there's like what looks like a straw dowel. What's the difference?
I feel like the straw dowel will have more surface area of
I
support.
feel like the straw would hold on to it more than a stick would almost be like,
I wonder, cake people, what is making them? Is it the weight of the buttercream? Is it the thing that they lay on there? That little thing that looks like the outside icing?
the crumb coat,
What?
fondant.
Yes. Like, where they lay it and then they cut it?
Yeah, what
is
about
that
that?
thing real heavy?
To
And the
me, it
bread,
feels
the breading, whatever, the cake can't support the weight of that. Is that what's causing this falling?
I think it's the warmth of everything.
When you start seeing these cakes mudslide on themselves, it's horrifying.
Cake
Seems
people.
stressful.
All I know
Bless your
is
souls. I hope you're
you better
making
have a big fridge or freezer.
Oh, I think you better have a big wallet because that's a lot of stress.
And how do you transport?
They
that?
have the big cake box.
I thought I saw the cake box.
that one special one.
Yeah, but you put the dowel in the center of the cake.
Oh, you have to do things.
Yeah,
to
there's
it?
a hole in it. That's how you make it. It's called the cake safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a hole in the
dowel for
center.
the cake thing.
It's through the center of the cake.
You people aren't paid enough for what you do.
Cake people, I don't know. I feel like your kitchens have to have so much storage because you have
and then
so
just try
many.
to photograph it. The thing's huge.
You'd have to move into a nice house to get a good photo.
Doesn't Acorn Mackers have a big one?
They do have a big one. We'll talk
Still
about
hard to do. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So let's recap because I like me a list.
Sure. I'm trying to remember.
So you started with having policies in place.
Yeah.
Love that one. Standard issue out the gate. Look, hashtag cookie contract in the group.
Yeah. Go back also through your own orders. What's the little pain point that you run into?
You're going to see it repeat itself because you're going to see what I say is everybody who asks you a question from your website, they're telling you you're missing a piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
So consider that. If people are like, if you get a lot of like, hey, when's pickup? Maybe that's something you need to emphasize more.
Like pickup will be discussed 24 hours before the pickup time.
Then our second one is find what the client's contract issue is and re-emphasize it. If it's a person who's very specific on color, say, hey, just to confirm. If it's somebody who's really particular on taste, be like, hey, cilantro.
Yeah. I'll always ask for an inspo photo. Even if you're like, hey, you did this
that helped
cookie
you with the
order
lady
once?
with the fondant.
Absolutely.
The
It
fondant.
always helps me because I can tell like, oh, this person's really specific about clean lines.
My last tip before I finish recapping is don't take an order you are not sure you can fulfill to their expectations. That is a headache. And I hate to say it, there's not a lot we can do for you. In the sugar cookie marketing group, if you took an order, the client's upset because they don't think your skills are up to par. There's very little you can do here other than fully refund.
Some people will say, well, they should have looked at my past work. Imagine they're not reading.
The onus is on you to say, I cannot handle that order. And if you say, well, maybe I could, that is your business risk. I'm going to tell you, once somebody gives you their money, they're expecting a certain level. And based off of that inspo photo, likely that's what they want. That's what they want coming back at them.
And I know some bakers out there, like, I don't replicate inspo photos. Neither do I. What I'm looking for is what design elements are in there. And if I can recreate the straight lines, the really, really detailed florals.
Here's an interesting take on this. If somebody sends you an inspo picture and it's above your skill level, but they seem to like your price point, send them back something comparable and say, hey, this is what I've done in the past. If this works for you, I will marry these together and get you this thing and get them to sign off on that. That way, should you just like slightly under what their expectations, you can refer back to like, hey, they knew, you knew, you're good. And it would just stave off some of this heartache that we see. I hate it when people are so excited about something.
I know.
It was a little under what the client expected. And then you get the client feedback that this isn't what I wanted. And then it feels like a personal attack.
It's almost like you did 100% of all the effort you could have given, you gave it 100%.
And they're like, it's still not good enough. And that's recipe for hurt feelings.
Yeah, your feelings will get hurt because you gave it 100%. It's not like you didn't go like the full throttle on it. Yeah. You really tried.
Even when Corey and I were on board like day job clients, Corey will be like, yeah, we can do that. And I'll be like, hey, to this extent we can do that. But here's the expectation I need to set with you.
I love saying, I'm a we can do kind of gal.
We can kind of do that. So I really want to make sure that the client's expectations are set. Likely they're already in your funnel. And if they're not, if you're like, hey, I'm just not confident I can do this, let them go. It's fine. I would much rather let them go than to have a disappointed, angry, upset person.
You asked me for watercolor cookies. I'm going to tell you, I'm not your gal.
What you can do if you want to be a truly good salesperson is say, hey, I can't do watercolor, but I can do this. Does this work? And that's how you really become that salesperson. Exactly. But you got to get them to sign off on the fact that you're either not there yet or you're getting there yet or you're here, but this is what, to get that price cookie, you'd be looking at this. Here's what I can provide it at this price.
If you're not confident in maybe that conversation, which I've had a bazillion times, so it does come naturally to me, a lot of people use Procreate or they hand draw the designs and send that over to the customer. That would make my price astronomical because I am not going to design a set for free. But if that gives you some sort of comfort and you and your customer can be on the same page, then absolutely you can do that. If I just do the inspo photo because it's quicker, and I can say yes or no real fast.
Right. Really, all of this, you just call it the panty podcast because it's covering your butt. That is all this is.
Call it the panty podcast?
Yeah, because you're covering your butt. Because at the end of the day, the most business issues upset clients just came from a lack of set expectations. And all this is we're like, hey, let's get in front of the refund so that we don't have to. But if that's the nuclear option,
something got through there.
yeah. So can we remember what we said? We said have policies in place. Reiterate the policy that's specific to this client.
Yes. That was the second and the first. Yeah, that was the first and second.
Can you go with the third? Let me think.
See, that's why I said, let's write this down.
You know what? And I was like, no, I want to just, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. I can't remember what the third one was. Come on. Macrame.
Macrame. Olive Garden cheese ravioli.
I have to look back into this. I say, and then I'm going to always follow. Have an oopsie fund. Have an oopsie budget because it'll hurt your feelings less. I budget my whole life. Again, using the app, Wine app. You need a budget.
You know, Amazon has ruined us because their refunds.
Did you see what they're doing? It's the world of free refunds is going away. But you see what also Amazon's doing? They're starting in LA. $10 to go pick up your order over $25, so they don't have to ship it. So you go to Kohl's, an Amazon warehouse, or Whole Foods.
They give you $10?
Yeah, like a credit in your account to not make them ship it to your door.
Is that cheaper?
It only applies to accounts where they know it's cheaper not to deliver to you.
Wow.
So like,
I thought they were supposed to be flying.
Don't know what happened.
Speaking of the pilot program, I thought they were supposed to be droning those over.
I don't know. You know, a lot of these big companies, specifically tech companies, are going through the year of efficiency where they're cutting costs everywhere. So they're being a little bit more particular on refunds on Amazon. If you're sending, apparently people are matching the weight of the product.
I'm just talking about us normal folk who maybe ordered something incorrectly sized.
I hate returning things. I don't know. I guess you can still return them, but they just don't want you.
I've never had Amazon say, no, you can't return, except for one. It said it was edible gold, and then when I got it, it was not edible gold, and you couldn't return it. Because it said it was edible, but it wasn't.
Did you mention that?
No, you couldn't. There was no even button to push.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Final sale. Yeah. Bezos getting his boundaries in
play.
But why were we talking about refunds? Oh, yeah. You should do this. Have your policies in place so you're not stuck with edible glitter that's not edible. So I would like to thank the people who reached out and said.
Heather it was broken on Heather's end.
The podcast text and calls were not, I didn't, so you know when the company card expires? Turns out you're supposed to update that bad boy. And Callfire's like, you didn't pay us. And so it shut down the number.
How dare you?
How dare I?
We could have won the lotto.
I know.
It's 571-556-5644.
Okay, now let's go through some of these texts because if people said we'll text
don't
you
read
again.
them. Listen, don't read them all.
We'll text you again.
You
but
can
please
choose
text
two.
Us.
Choose two.
You know how long the texts have been done? The last text we got was January 9th.
Are you kidding? And you literally said we weren't popular people.
No, we weren't. Not with Callfire.
You can choose two. Your snake is going insanely crazy.
I gotta clean him up.
He's falling up and falling down.
He gets it in his system. He only lives for 10 years and he's 5, so give him his price.
He's 5?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. I've had him for 7, the big one.
Yeah, that lives for 40.
5. Yeah, he only lives. We're on the other side.
That's okay, dude.
Okay, sorry if it's asked already, but I'm resending because hello, lovely ladies. I'm having trouble narrowing down what next big thing I could invest for my business. Can you help me with the decision? Here are the options.
Ooh, we can help her spend her money.
Oh, she's got some good options.
Okay,
these are tough.
How many options does she have?
4, but all of them you'd want. Okay, she says a new 3D printer, the bamboo. Right there.
Oh,
I haven't opened it yet. It is my task tonight.
It does look open, but nothing more than the box.
I couldn't commit to just staring at what I want to see how big it was. A new 3D printer, my Ender 3 is stressing me out. I do have an Ender 3. It is stressful.
Heather loves blaming humidity.
Absolutely. Humidity. Belt tension. Yeah. Okay, number 2, a new boyfriend, a.k.a. Eddie.
Oh, I thought that's a Donald's color.
Number 3, an automatic dough sheeter. She said, sounds like I'm swearing. I promise I'm not.
Okay, there it does.
An automatic dough sheeter. Is that the Eugene one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 4, Big Kahuna. I added that word in myself. A commercial space so I'll be able to ship my cookies. I have an offer for $300 a month, which includes cookie class space, and it's a steal. $300 a month?
Wow.
For a commercial space?
Okay, so let's go over it.
I'm still working my full-time job.
Okay.
But my business has been exponentially growing, and I haven't even started my weekly farmers markets yet. I am not complaining. I just can't focus on one, and I feel like I have squirrel brain. Please help this twin mama out. Caitlin of Double Batch Confections. Area code is for Ann Arbor, Michigan, if you were wondering.
Ann Arbor.
Okay, that's a tough one.
Okay, I'm going to say, do I have a dough sheeter? No.
Here.
Have I asked people about their dough sheeters? Yes.
They seem
Many seem that they said they could do without it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think Eddie's great. I think Eddie is wonderful. However, I'm going to say...
I already know what I picked of her for.
Really? Well, I know it's not the dough sheeter. You just
It's not the dough
done
sheeter.
dough sheeted all over it.
It is number 4.
The commercials?
Uh-huh.
Nice. If the out-the-door price is $300 a month, all day long, twice on Tuesday.
Yeah, because if you could do the classes alone.
Oh, you would...
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about the shipping part.
Okay, let's make a list of the orders.
Okay.
I would say number 4, the commercial space first.
Is
because
number
that's
1.
going to flood them. You have a printer, 3D printer already, so I'm going to move him to the bottom. You do have one. If he works,
If he works.
If he doesn't work, he'll move up to my number 2.
But he can save you a ton of cookie cutter money.
That's what I'm saying. But she already has an Ender 3. He's stressful, but is he working? If he's not working, 3D printer, number 2.
Okay. So number 1, commercial space.
Yeah, that one at that price.
Yeah. I will say at the end of the day, you do only have 2 hands, but the classes alone.
The classes, the storage, the elbow room, the other stuff can fit in this building. Okay. So then I'm going to say, I like the commercial space to pay for the Eddie. 1, then you have a place to put him. Mm-hmm. So if the Ender 3 is working. Oh, yeah.
Eddie cookies.
If the Ender 3 is working, my number 2 would be Eddie. Then my number 3 would be the bamboo carbonate one. And then my number 4, I guess, is a dough sheeter. But again, I've got no experience with it.
We have no experience with the dough sheeter.
Scalability, though, the dough sheeter.
The dough sheeter, after you have your commercial space, now has a home.
No, maybe I'd move him in front of the Eddie.
It depends.
It really depends.
The
what is your marketing focused on?
My marketing is focused on more money.
Well, there's more to Caitlin, but okay, thank you.
I want her money.
So we do number 4 commercial space.
You're saying number 4, but we're saying number 1
4,
is commercial space.
Okay, number 2.
You said is Eddie.
Eddie, if your 3D printer is still printing and he's just annoying.
Okay.
If the 3D printer is not working, I'd move the 3D printer number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie number 3, dough sheeter number 4. But I am open to switching Eddie and dough sheeter depending on your goals.
Depending on the goals.
Okay. Caitlin,
I feel like we spent your money very wisely.
You're welcome. Okay. Hi, twins. This is Liz from North Carolina. I'm just beginning my journey to offer macaron classes. I'm just out here trying to be like all you cookies, raking in that class cash. Oh, there we go. I found a location, woohoo, and in doing some sneaky Facebook group promotion, conducting market research, I've had a programs coordinator for our local art society reach out about hosting classes at their facility too. Awesome. I met with her and we were chatting and she said they handle ticket sales and promotion. They do take 30% of the ticket sales, which would essentially be my rental fee. Okay. She had to pay a place.
Yeah.
She said their audience can afford higher ticket items and said that I should build a 30% buffer into my ticket price. I should say that currently my other location isn't charging me anything. They are opening their cafe during the class to make sales to my students. Will having 2 different ticket prices for the same basic class, even at different locations, be frustrating to my audience? Or should I let them promote those classes and not push them to my audience too? I don't want to take 30% loss and I'd like to reach their higher end market, but I also don't want to confuse my audience. What are your thoughts? Thank you so much for putting out this podcast. I never miss an episode. That is a complex math question.
Is a complex.
Because you've got, to break it down, we've got this new location. They said they're handling marketing, but they're taking 30% of ticket sales.
And saying, instead of taking 30% less yourself, add 30% to the price of your ticket.
I love how that actually increases their payout as well. They're not taking $30. They're taking 30% and telling you to charge more. Okay, and then she has this other place charging her 0 costs.
But are making money off of what they can sell during the class as far as coffees and stuff, I guess. So
she's saying, well, I'll keep my price the same at the coffee class, but to handle the 30% cut that the new location was taking, I'll increase my prices to 30%. So we have the same offering, but we have 2 different prices. Will that confuse the audience? Here's what my recommendation is.
I want to hear yours. And then I have one in my mind, but yours could change what I'm thinking.
Okay, let me just make sure we're the new. So here's the thing. I would have 2 different prices and market both to my audience. We've got 2 different locations, so you've got options. So what these will do is likely anchor people to this cheaper price, fill up that class first, but give people the option to still take a class. Thoughts?
Here's
Points?
what and it's only because we've done it,
Okay.
is I would make a classes page.
Okay. That's a lot of work.
So we have the Mixing Bowl Cookie Company, my custom orders.
Yeah.
And we have our sugar cookie classes.
We do.
The sugar cookie classes is almost independent. Like where there's a class, you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost makes it so you don't feel like you're pulling the wool over anyone's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally just making these classes because that's what the people want. I would sell both classes, one more expensive than the other. The audience is different.
For the two places.
The audience is different at two places. You don't know if maybe they post it and it sells out and you never had to post it to your stuff first off.
Absolutely.
But
If
you can reach
wanna-
a higher end market there.
You can. Of course, you're charging more. I think people understand that different locations, different venues are going to have a different rate and that the pricing adjusted.
It's reflective on that.
Plus, you got a local art society. Assuming you'll be working around art, it's kind of a vibe.
It is kind of vibe. And sometimes I go to Michael's in Fair Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Something's priced there. And then I go back in Woodbridge and it's differently priced at that Michael's.
Michael's you wild out there.
No.
So
I will say
you're
if anyone
saying-
wanted a deal at Michael's for their little
Now
backdrop
Nate
studio
is
thing.
calling you.
Are you kidding me?
I guess the mushrooms are growing faster than we thought.
It's at 4:02. Let me
Did
just
he
text
knew?
him.
I had to go to the dentist and
Podcast.
put our shift your whole day back. You'll be happy to know I had no cavities.
Am I happy to know that?
That's for podcast land.
Okay, go on with your thing.
So my thought is this. So wait, to recap what you were saying,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying market both at the different prices, but on a secondary page that just focuses on classes.
Mm-hmm.
Why not on the primary page?
I
do like
feel
the two
she
avenues,
has
but
some guilt for some odd reason there, tied there.
I don't think there should be. I think it's options. What is he doing?
He fell.
now?
He fell. He was in the crowd. He fell. I just because that's something that we do. I don't feel guilty at all charging different
I
prices.
think you're actually giving people different opportunities.
Yeah.
And I'd say myself, if you wanted to take on an extra page that focuses on classes in the area, awesome. That is double the management work. However, I would not be opposed to having both classes post on everything. That said, let's make sure that 30% venue is promoting it.
I would say test it once with
Yeah.
them. If they're like, oh yeah, we posted it
And
once
then
and it had
never
no
do.
reactions or anything, be like, okay, maybe I'm gonna save some cashish and do the lower price cash.
I mean, a
Can't
0% rental fee in my scratch my back, scratch your back relationship is always niftier than the paying a percentage of income. Because the same amount of work, you're just making less. But
Okay,
then
so
you build on the price.
how about this? Say you're gonna do a test class with them, see how
Okay.
it goes. They can charge the higher price, which is fine. They'll run the marketing. So you could actually, if you want to see how their marketing works, you don't even post it to your page. Let's just see what their marketing does.
Okay.
And you pursue pushing that less expensive class. When that class fills up, say, I just want to let you know there's another class happening at XYZ expensive location. And then see how that goes.
Let me ask you this. Would you communicate that the price difference in the classes is due to the fee of the location? Would you communicate that to the audience in the description of the event? I, as a consumer, I love an explanation. Do I deserve one all the time? No.
Here's the thing. If one place is better, is closer to me,
Yeah, absolutely.
it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
So no, you don't have to tell me the difference.
It's an interesting test. Definitely agree with Corey. Do a test run. Make sure that, let's check out, actually, before you even sign anything, before you even do this, ask them what their promotional schedule is. That is a thing.
Yeah,
You know,
how many
how are
times
you
am I
planning
going
to
to
promote
be
this?
posted to your stories?
Yeah,
How
you're
many
going to
times
tag the
posted to
page.
your
Like,
feed?
would you like me to provide the content for
How
you?
far out from the class date, if you have not filled it,
Definitely cover your butt on that one.
to let me know when it's canceled. Is it 5 people, 2 people? The thing is, I have to make my money and then some.
Yeah, what happens if the class is canceled? What 30%? Yeah, make sure that one's absolutely spelled. I'm sure it is, but just to confirm that you want to cover your butt ahead of time. You don't want to cover your butt after the fact. Last one, it's not even a question, but I know it's Jessica Wolf, and she says, hey, girl, I assume this is Jessica Wolf. Did you open the Cricut yet? The answer is yes, but not the way you think. Our cousin Jenny wanted to get into paper mache flowers. Beautiful stuff.
I think people didn't hear the word cricket.
Cricut. Cricut is a paper cutting robot. Jen said she wanted to do like these. They look so realistic. I know what you're
Has
thinking.
she done them?
She did. Yes.
One.
Yep. But that little robot cut. I mean, wow.
I thought you were going to tell her to make stencils for me.
Yeah, I said Go do stencils
I
for
feel like
Corey.
she just got a free Cricut. Even
She said
I'll
to bring
tell
it
you
back
guys.
whenever I want.
Listen, I'll tell you. Our mother was angry.
Yeah.
She said that she should have had the first right of refusal.
But then Ashley's like, no, you condemn crickets. Our mom is a carding lady. Apparently crickets.
She
cheating.
condemned it because she didn't have
No,
it.
she uses a big shot. You carding people out there. Cards are neat too, but you also are crazy as well.
Card people?
Stamping card thing.
Because you have to buy it's almost to me like fondant shapes. You have to buy a stamp for
We
everything.
call it fondant on this podcast.
Fondant stamps.
Dowels.
Dowels.
There's too many hobbies. Okay, guys, thank you so much for texting into the podcast. Now that you actually can, anything sent after January 9th, we did not get.
We did not get, so resend
I
it.
did save 2 texts from others. I will keep those in my back pocket for next week. But if you want to text us, it really does make this podcast less boring.
The phone number is 571
556
5644. No one will respond to you. Which
You'll
is
get an automated text, and I'll tell you, this is an automated text.
And what you'll do is just listen to the pod and see if we choose it. Make sure there's only graceful language in there. We can't.
I kind of edited it out while I talk.
You did?
Bleepity bleep bleep. Should I get an edit? Just kidding. That's not what it said. That's not what it said.
Let's go to the sponsors.
The sponsors.
Sponsor number 1, AE Cornbackers. Love them to death. You cake people, there's a size out there for you. There's cake sizes, and then there's the standard sizes.
How many sizes do they have? Do you know?
I think 3.
3.
I don't know. I only ordered the 23 by 23, and I am absolutely obsessed with them. If you have listened to the podcast, you know I've been obsessed with the white matte finish, but they have some spectacular colors. They have marbles. They have wood grain, and for teacher appreciation, wood grain looks fantastic behind a red apple.
Okay.
They have red, white, and blue because 4th of July is coming up. They have a green color, which is great for people who are keeper of Lawn and Order. Father's Day cookies are coming up, so those are super stinking cute. Graduation's coming up. They have black marble, and white.
What would you use that for?
That's a graduation? Yeah.
Interesting.
Something like
A
that.
navy blue and a black?
They do have a navy blue.
Okay, I wouldn't use black and navy blue together.
No, I was just saying black marble.
You had a maroon graduation
a
color?
maroon.
Okay, I'm talking about the cookie color, but okay. Vibing.
So you can use code SugarCookie at aecorebackers.com. That will actually save you 20%. You guys who are listening today, you missed the scratch and dent sale, but people say they're absolutely in love with the ones they've gotten.
I love a discount.
I love a discount. I just came from Home Goods right before I saw it.
You are also wild. Though.
Love it.
Home Goods?
Home
Is
Goods.
that an extension of who?
It's TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx and Marshalls, all 3 in 1.
Oh, really?
You know the TJ or the Marshalls in Ashburn across from the sushi place we go to? Out of business.
I knew it was going on. It looked orphaned.
Oh my soul!
The whole place is wild, and
I know
that's why
that
they're
place
doing the
is-
remodeling.
That place is
You let it go too long without tenants.
I know.
Next up is Eddie, who we were talking about earlier, unbiased, because we didn't put him in the first.
My
slot.
sprinkle factory tray.
You got the Sprinkle Factory
I-
magnetic tray.
I made an
I was
order.
talking to Amanda and I said in the cookie college, and she said she got an Eddie. I said, what trays? And she was like, yeah, I got influenced with the magnet.
I know. I'm going to do an unboxing this week.
She asked me to ask you to get all the trays and review them. She said that seems like great
So far, I have
content.
2 trays. The only one I don't have is one
Sassy?
you have to print where you have to prove.
Milton?
Yeah.
You have Sassy's?
No, I don't.
Because I have the thing downstairs.
I
Please take
don't.
it. Please take that.
Please
little-
take what?
The thing, the tray that goes in
Oh,
a
the
circle.
carousel?
The carousel. Please
It's
take it.
huge. It's
I
a
have
carousel of
that only. That's not even.
I know.
That's a
I
weird
just like
thing.
that,
You
the
left it
other.
here.
Those 2 just fit on the.
So the Sassy tray, which we don't have, fits on the carousel. Milton Sprinkle Factory.
In
Was
the
it-
random one
no.
I got last week, I
that
can't
fits on
remember
the
the name.
tongue, the single feed.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, you definitely don't want to do an intricate thing just on the carousel. I think that's wilding out a little bit. I think you need to look at Eddie looking at the cookies.
I
But
can't
Eddie
wait
is
to
a,
try it, yeah.
is a direct-to-food printer, meaning literally the way your printer works, but on icing, and it's fully edible. It's amazing. It ain't cheap. But I will say, just if you're looking at scalability, if you're looking at getting things out quickly, saving on time, it is the way to move. Now, even like hashtag, you can get a cheap ready by buying them from other people, and Primera will honor the warranty and still give you a brand new 1 hour.
Or you can order a refurbed
number. Someone
Eddie?
said, don't do the refurb thing through an email. Call them. It moves you, it bumps you up.
Bumps you up.
Bumps you up. But I was seeing people saying that they were getting referred within a week of calling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely worth it. I'm a refurb bae. I like refurb cannons.
Listen, I was thinking about Eddie. If some people aren't cut out for classes, they do not like public speaking.
That's a rough one.
a true fear.
It's a rough go, man. If you get a class that doesn't have like an energy, it'll make you rethink.
It will mess with your own mind.
Yeah, Corey and I have to have like 10 minutes.
I'll look at Heather like, am I doing this correctly? And she'll be like, yeah, it's the crowd.
Yeah, we kind of do this like nudge, like, head to the side, shrug. Right?
Yeah. But if you didn't want to do classes, corporate orders using Eddie are the bee's knees.
Corey and I were talking about business owners who like put their name on pens.
Oh, yeah. They are.
Nobody who receives the pen likes it, but you love it. Corey and I love it.
Listen, I don't want to collect another pen, but I'll eat a cookie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the edible gift from a business is better than the pen that sits in the pen drawer forever.
Yeah, because it's your name.
I know.
And while you love giving, and you're like, every time they pick up those pens, they'll think of me. Every time they go to the bathroom, they'll think of you if you give them an egg.
Corey, I don't know. Is Archer here? Okay, and then last but never least is the Royal Batch meringue powder by Bakety Brink.
Isn't she got the 5-pounders ready to roll?
Isn't she got it? She got it.
Got it. It is a...
Can you not make the noise with your hands and the things you're touching on the table?
They're all for...
The reason why I moved your phone is here is...
There's a lot of fidget spinners. Okay, Royal Batch is a meringue powder. It is so tasty. It already has 3 ingredients, which you would add to it, so you're already saving money. It already contains
There's a lot of already.
white food coloring. It already contains corn syrup, and it already contains...
I've heard if you're... Okay, we're headed... It is so humid today.
It is...
You swim to your car, but it's going to cause icing bleeding, right? Humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, and I might be using the wrong thing, add white food coloring. In addition, if you want to stave off some bleeding in a humid week. Thoughts? Comments?
I think...
Concerns?
Yeah.
Do you do it?
I do it.
Interesting. How much do you do?
I do a gloss.
All right, before we move on, I want to read a podcast poll that I had, which I thought was rather interesting because this is the lull. We're heading into the
lull. Okay, the holidays we got coming up. Mother's Day, pretty much you have that checked off. Teacher Appreciation Week is this week.
It has been last week for some. This week for others. Nurse Appreciation is this week.
This week too. Some people are doing next week. Then you have graduation.
No, I have a countdown. We're going to go through that, but I'm not ready to go through that. The podcast poll, though, was this. First, it starts with, oops, forgot to do a podcast poll, but I needed one. How many of you plan to take off some of the summer from cookies, your business?
This boggles my mind because I've never been able to take off work.
I need a rich husband. I told the dentist today, if I come in with an older man, it won't be my dad. It will be my husband. I'm just going straight to old dude.
Are you going to wheel him in?
Absolutely, I am. They said, this is what they said back. Not the dentures. We want implants. If he can't afford the implants, don't get them. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I find interesting. 26%. So we had 235 votes. 26% of those people said, I will be taking off during the summer, some duration of time.
How many people voted?
235.
Wow.
So a little bit more than you think. That is something to keep in mind here. A couple of reasons, a couple things I want to throw at you. Summer is just a low period of orders anyways. So
it's a lower period.
Okay.
You just said that backwards. Lower period of orders. But guess what? You take off, I'm going to take your customer.
That's the thing. So if you're not taking off, I wouldn't say slack on marketing, but I also wouldn't say my marketing isn't working. It's fewer people providers, but it's also few orders, but it is more opportunity because people are taking off. Rare in any business do you see 26% of your competitors leaving electively. So for those of you who are sticking around, keep that in mind. For those of you who are sticking around and seeing people say I'm booked for July and August, keep in mind that they may just be taking off, and saying you're booked is a great way to not say my family's going on vacation, rob me.
We want to forget about you.
Yeah. So keep that in mind as we go into this. This is what Corey and I have seen is that you have a brief lull in January. It ticks right back up for February. March comes back with Easter, April timeframe. Yeah. You start really picking up. And then right towards the end here, we get those Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation, last day of school, teachers and nurses, right? And then the cliff.
It is. It's like mid-June to like mid-July.
I'll say mid-August, man.
Well, that is when people start going back to school.
They do, but the first week of August, trash. Yeah, you'll be starting to throw things in the trash. Here's what Corey and I, and if you are getting into cookie classes, I want you to keep in mind that it mirrors this as well. Corey and I always have a tougher time to fill a mid-June class than it does to fill a December class. So what I see is people who, if this is your first year of classes, you are going to think you are a loser. You're going to think nobody likes you.
It's not you.
It's not you. They are traveling. They're out of town. Corey and I made the stupidest thing. We thought we could do like a burger 4th of July set. No, I'm sorry. The year before, the 4th of July set that we designed.
Oh, yeah.
Said we'll do it July. It was the Saturday fell before Sunday, July 4th. Yeah. Did it July 3rd, no signups. Because people are like, we're not here.
We're going to go grilling.
It was after COVID had opened up again. And people were like, yeah, I'm never going to see you.
It was a weird time too. But then this past year, we actually did that burger class, not thinking anyone's going to sign up. We did it after July, and we did have a full class.
So if you want a pro tip from people who've cried before, don't put it before 4th of July.
And I mean, yeah. Because I'm already thinking like I'm going somewhere.
Yep.
Really, I'm not going anywhere. But
nope, I'll see you here. We could usually do lunch here.
We do.
We do
dinner.
Thing. Yeah. Okay, let me talk about the upcoming holidays. I've gotten them down into the weeks. Mother's Day being next week, a week away. So if you haven't ordered your cookie
getters. Did you get your Mother's Day gift then yet?
I did. Did you?
I just got it yesterday.
The journal pad thing.
I will say I ordered my mom some stamps for her card business, and the person sent an extra little die cut.
Mom said it has to have a die cut with the style.
I know.
My mom is an elitist card person. Don't know half the words she says. Big shot, bigger shot,
Listen
bigger shot.
to me, card people.
Corey has a bone to pick.
I love cookie cutters. Give me them all. I might not use it for another 5 years, but I
almost saw through your eyes. You were like, I could turn this into a cookie, but Mom's like, who would I give that to? And you're like, everybody.
Yeah, she was like, I said, this sloth set is so cute. And she's like, yeah, no one's wanting sloths. It's not about what people want. It's about what you want.
Give the people what you want. Okay, graduation. Asterisk on this one. And here's the question I had for Corey. Is graduation before the last day of school? I don't have kids.
Yes.
I already graduated myself.
Listen, the principal's wife ordered a set of graduation.
From you?
Yes.
Oh.
She did it with a microphone in her hand. I felt, she was like, how much is it going to be in front of the entire school?
You can anchor them to So that'll be in 2 weeks, roughly for our area. We're in Northern Virginia. Last day of school. I did look this up for our area. We live in a tri-county? No. County.
Tri-county.
Yeah, so there's 3 counties here. Of the 3 counties, you can easily travel between them. You'll just sit in an hour's worth of traffic.
I made it through 3. Just getting there.
Absolutely. But they're all within a day or 2 of each other, their last day of school, but it's not on the same day.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. You can look up your last day of school for your county and the surrounding counties so you're not caught off guard. Like with people in this teacher appreciation, some schools picked May 1st, some picked May 8th.
Mine was last week.
Weird.
The county I'm in is this
crazy.
week.
So I saw a lot of people were like, oh no, ordered from her for May 8th, but then the school said May 1st, so then they had to ask her to bake it. Father's Day is in 6 weeks. So what did you say would be the ideal time to get cookie cutters ordered? Right now. So then likely they'll be here in a week and a half, which would give you 4 weeks.
2 weeks, I will say it takes them to come in.
Okay, so that would be getting your Father's Day together now. If you want to do a budget-friendly thing, you can always use what you had last year. So keep that in mind.
I will say Father's Day does better than Mother's Day because mothers are really just buying for their own moms, whereas fathers...
Some lady had this idea.
What?
I mean, it's a little too late for it now, but I read it a couple weeks ago. I should have had it on the podcast. But she said because men kind of forget Mother's Day, she had created a form for women wives to submit their husband's information, and she would say, she emailed the husband, if you're receiving this form, your wife wants cookies. Please place your order now. Genius. Yeah, but for Father's Day, it wouldn't work as well because women are kind of more dialed in.
Yeah.
Then we have the 4th of July, which is almost an admonition. But I know a lot, that's a big thing for platters because people are getting together.
Yeah.
DIY kits, I think we did one year.
Oh, we did.
That was more fun because you got to distract the kids. Anything where the kids are being annoying and you can distract them, big DIY kit.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh, I think you did do that one year.
I did. With the little rock.
Yeah. Then for some reason, Corey told me to add Shark Week.
Listen, Shark Week is big. Shark Week is big. It's slept on, but when you remind your audience, hey, Shark Week.
Shark
They
Week.
wake up with the jaws.
Okay, well,
going
that's 9 weeks away. I mean, you could easily. Didn't you get shark cutters from Amazon? I feel like you did that last year.
Yeah, Anna Clark has just like the fin and the shark
yeah.
shape.
That's about all you need.
I think I got a PYO where you actually draw the lines together, and it forms a shark. So you
It's
use
like a connect the dots?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. And then oddly, again, we go through the lull of kind of the end of July, the beginning of August, and then back to school hits us.
Back to school.
Like,
Back to school is huge.
It is big. It is the beginning of cookie, hold on, white knuckle season. Because
and I'm going to tell you, back to school.
I'm kind of excited for the holiday vibes.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
First person to market back to school cleans up.
So I would almost say, I know the temptation. Yeah.
Get them ready.
Now, what I want to remind people, we're going to start talking about the Sugar My State collab.
When is that?
That is in June 23rd. So I put it towards the end of June.
Nice.
But explain to us, Corey, what the vibe is. I think this will be a lot of fun.
So what we're going to do, because there is such a lull of people traveling, you taking off your weeks so you can have like a summer break with your children, we want to make sure that we're still staying engaged with our audience. And nothing engages people more than relatability. So we're going to do Sugar My
Inside
State.
Relatability. You know? What are you doing?
I don't know. You said
Can we have
cars that are
something?
in a traffic jam.
I think it'd be so funny.
I almost think we should do like a road, and 3 green signs, and where
That would be
everyone
so funny.
knows, like that's where people freak out on them.
Would you want like a road with this direction, a road this direction, and like to look like it's
So like road turn this, straight turn. So you're like Tyson's Corner,
okay.
DC,
And then the green
Baltimore.
signs.
The 3 green signs with just silver around the side. That's
Okay.
exactly how the signs look.
Okay. No cars.
No cars. I think just name where this is.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna sneeze.
Yeah, you've been trying to sneeze this whole time. You're going to die because now you got to think about it. So yeah, this Sugar My State Cookie Collab will be in 6 weeks.
But
plenty of time.
I want you to get creative with it.
Get creative.
What is your
you know what
town
somebody
known
did?
for? What?
You know what somebody did?
What?
They pulled their audience. Said, guys, they
Genius.
used us. They used the Sugar Cookie Marketing Collab as the ploy to get more engagement. People really ate it up, literally.
Genius. So if there's something in your county, like maybe like a cow got loose and you like said, spot
Do you
the
know there
cow.
was those ostriches?
There was
that got loose here?
ostriches.
Too bad. It was a couple years ago, so it'd be too much of a hard
And
pull now.
what's crazy is that these ostriches took over the news and Facebook, but they were part of our family's ostriches.
Yeah, our older sister's husband's dad. It was his ostriches.
Ostrich.
They weren't ostriches; they were emus.
Emus.
Yeah, but they were crazy fast, little dinosaurs.
Now it was like spot the emu.
Yeah. So, and then like another example is there's a lot of construction on the road. There was this crane. It looked like a guy, so they named it Steve. Again, too many years ago, but it was quite
Yeah.
the inside joke of the area.
But if you didn't want to do jokes, you could do state birds, state
History?
flowers, history, your Main Street area. People
Ooh,
love that.
money, love that one.
If you have like a big state fair, people would love to
That'd be
identify
fun.
with
Something
that.
where someone's like, "Oh, I know exactly what that is because it relates to me," and kind of that pride of your area.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a lot of pride in our area. There's a lot of traffic. So leaning into traffic, everyone here loves to complain about traffic.
We do.
What if we make the 66, 95, the little interstate signs?
Is that where the little mixing bowl is?
Oh, it's the interstate. Yeah, it's 495, 60. Oh, no, it's not 60. 495, 395, and 95.
Isn't that where people freak out?
Yeah, that's that
that's
one.
hilarious.
Okay, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Just kind of lean into the traffic
Yeah.
vibes, which is really speaks to people in our area.
Yes.
That is, again, on June 23rd. So that's 6 weeks away. You guys will be fine. I'm vibing. I'm kind of in a Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas mood.
Christmas mood.
But that's like if we can build that up now. We got Christmas in July. My family.
I would
not my
say
family,
do
my
Christmas
sisters.
in July. Cookies. We did the
Collab
collab
last
last
year.
year. And that was great. People still, I want to say if you're teaching cookie classes and you're like, I don't know, I kind of want to try a Christmas class in July.
Fredericksburg, she did it in January. And I thought risky click, but she's like, yeah, absolutely sold out because she was from Arizona and she wanted people to get the summer vibes. Andrea. So test it. But here's the thing. Do not take it personally if it doesn't sell out. You're not a loser. It is the market. But hey, what a fun time to test when there's not a lot of skin in the game.
There's not a lot of skin in the game. Tell us about the cookie collage.
The cookie collage.
I have
the cookie
a
college.
course that I'm doing.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us
Yes.
more. Okay, the
It
Cookie
is-
College, before she jumps into it, is a monthly membership. You can sign up for the month, sign up for the year, and save 2 months free. But it is everything you wanted to know about marketing. It's mostly what we talk in this podcast, but in application. So a lot of classes, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of marketing. I did the photography class. I think people were upset, gnashing of teeth. However, Corey did give me her external hard drive, and I needed to schedule out some posts for
you
Sugar
took
Cookie
them all.
classes.
I saw that.
But I was like trying to search for keywords and nothing shows up. So
Rude.
I kind of had to meander blindly. But I did find them. So I'm going to go through your external. I'm going to classify them. I, taught in that class how to classify things according to keyword search. Really, really, really streamlines the workflow. When you save time, you save money. Plus, we can get more marketing content out there faster.
I think you said photo course, but she's talking photo organization.
Sorry, for photo organization course. There's a photography course. I think there's actually 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But once we have the photos, we need to organize them so that we can utilize them in our marketing.
And I
more
would say that
effectively.
is something that takes a lot of time, is when you want a photo, because if you show this specific photo, you'll land the sale. But spending that time searching for it, that honestly is time and money out of your pocket.
Seeing what I was doing to try to see where your brain was, I was like, wow, this is eating up a ton of time. If these are keyword search centric, I could really get this content out a lot faster. And then it comes to like making that sale in that community group where you have only 3 seconds before somebody else tags their business.
If someone says, does anyone know who can make unicorn with pastel colors? And
imagine I can do unicorn, one search, get 5 different examples of it.
Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. Cash in your pocket.
Pow! Where's that Emerald Lagasse? Whatever happened to him.
Bam!
Sorry, guys.
That's what he did.
That was very loud.
The class I'm going to teach is people loved my May the 4th Be With You galaxy theme behind the words. I'm going to teach them how to do the galaxy thing.
Went on what?
Huh?
That went on what?
No, it's only airbrush, which I hate. So if I'm doing it, I love you.
That'll be great.
I know.
Send it to me when you got it.
Okay.
What did I want to say? Oh, guys, thank you so much. We've had 250,000 podcast downloads this week.
Guys,
How fun.
thanks for making this the #1 baking podcast.
Yeah,
Wow. You guys need more hobbies.
you do. You need better Audible lists, but thank you so much. The more you guys listen to it, honestly, if you guys weren't listening to us, we'd stop doing it.
Yeah, we'd honestly would have stopped a long time
I've been
ago.
like, this is trash. But the more that you guys listen to us, the more it gives us something to do. But August is CookieCon Florida. Corey and I will be there for a day for the happy hour. CookieCon Florida's tickets go on sale on the 17th, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Will they sell out, Marbert?
They didn't sell out for Ohio, so
Yeah.
But I will say, like, having like Disney there.
You know what? Heather Brookshire sent me an email real quick. If you can talk while I search. But she's the sponsor for, here we go. She's a sponsor for,
Sorry, I was
are you
listening to
playing
myself.
TikTok?
No, I was going to tell them about my Instagram initiative. Go ahead.
Okay, here's a flyer she made for, I'm just going to read through this. I think it answers quite a few questions. So here she says what to expect. It's Let's Play at Disney, a magical pre-con or post-con experience with family and friends. So she's created a sample itinerary and given us a kitty. So she made this beautifully comprehensive. So the sample itinerary: arrival, you go to Epcot, you have a resort day, then you can go to Disney Springs, then head off to SEM Happy Hour, then Magic Kingdom, then Hollywood Studios, and then back to Disney Springs. Talk about that would be
That's a blasting.
That would be what you'd want to do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you get these Disney trip planners, you don't pay them, but they make magic happen because they figure out all
I
of
highly
the
suggest
logistics.
to have one.
Yeah, we trying to kind of do it ourselves.
DIY it.
So she's got some pricing stuff. I'm going to post this in the group so you guys can kind of get the vibe. Definitely she'll be able to work with you in finding a setup. If you want to spend money, girls, like Disney Riviera Resort, it starts at $3,600 for 4 nights and 3 days and 1 day per park. See, this is what you got to have these people for.
I would say Heather Campbell at Brookshire gave us gifties when we saw her in Ohio, and one of the gifties were the scents of the hotels. So with the Grand Floridian
I hate to say this,
sprays,
but you left it in my. I've used it every day. It smells like a resort.
it's what they spray in the room before you check in.
It smells amazing. I gotta say,
it was
quite
so cool.
Let me just read through some of these things. She highly recommends 3 park days. Probably I'd recommend it myself. That's what we did. We kind of
I voted out the Animal Kingdom.
we did the Animal Kingdom.
That's why I'm voting out.
what to expect and next steps. Once I receive your information, I'll prepare a quote just for you and your travel party. When you're satisfied with the package we come up with, I'll send you a link to collect payment information for the deposit. You'll be granted access to our private Facebook group where you can get to know others who are going and ask questions about your trip. The countdown begins. You will receive a series of emails with tips and tricks to prepare for your vacation. Remaining payment can be made at any time up until July 27th. And again, this is going to CookieCon and adding in this Disney component, which would be fun because it's expensive to get down there.
Trip of a lifetime.
I know. Couldn't it be so fun?
That would be a blast. There is nothing like Main Street in the Magic
It's
Kingdom.
such a vibe. Could you? That would be, like you said, trip of a lifetime because you get to go to CookieCon, but you also get to go to Disney World.
I know. And you'll never find someone more excited about Disney than Heather Campbell Brookshire.
Oh, here's a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party kicks off in August at the Magic Kingdom. This is a separately ticketed event held on selected nights that include the Boo to You parade, a highlight for me, she says, special food, merch, and characters, complimentary trick or treating, and lower wait time. So again, I'll post this stuff in the Facebook event for the CookieCon Happy Hour in Florida. If you want to go to CookieCon and Disney,
you want to go.
You don't want to do it yourself.
Disney Springs is like the pre-Disney gaming area. Like
so fun. We went because we were a little early.
Loved it.
That place we can paddle for.
Yeah, I cannot remember that place.
But also just a vibe. I think we sat and had drinks at some
some margarita place.
Yeah, fun. I liked it. Such a blast. So I'll post more information about that. Where were we supposed to go? Oh, it's only 100. She sent this 2 days ago and she said, it's 110 days till CookieCon.
Oh my, that's going to fly on by.
This year.
Boy.
Okay. Can we slow down and say that this year's flying?
Yeah. January, wasn't that yesterday?
It was.
What's your Twinterest? I have to go soon.
Okay, my Twinterest is this. I was on a mission this week to organize closet space.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, so I got these shelves, but my mom said they're big in the carding world for organization.
I used to have those in the basement. Remember you used them when you took my storage area.
Yeah, you're right. I really like them. The setup time was like 2 seconds. They're plastic. They shipped real quick. Different sizes, different widths.
Definitely you'd see them in a storage area.
They're not pretty. They're not winning any awards.
They're big and black and plastic.
Yeah, big black plastic. I think they were $30 each.
Nice.
And that was my goal, is to kind of get my 3D printing stuff with 3D printing stuff.
When are you going to make your first print?
I was really challenging myself today and tomorrow to have it all configured. They said 15 minutes to set it up.
15 minutes?
Yeah. I said it fixes the problems of the Ender 3.
Can you take it, like, as you go, can you add it to the Instagram story so we can, like, go along this process?
You can add it with my potato phone. Sure.
No cursing.
Yeah, so that was my Twinterest. I got them on Amazon. Did measure. Really like them. Also got a measuring tape with a laser measure on it. I gotta say, wow.
What is that half circle thing we used in geometry class?
Protractor?
Is that a protractor? Chiropractor?
No. I don't think it was that.
Is it a projector? That sounds so right.
No. Protractor.
Yeah. Did you say projector?
No. I said protractor.
I said chiropractor.
You did. Why are we talking about?
That's what it looked like to me when you brought it out last week.
What are you talking about?
Your little ruler thing.
No. I got a measuring tape, the big ones that a carpenter would use. Yeah. Oh. But on its butt, it has a laser measure, meaning that I can put it up against here. It measures a distance where the laser touches.
Nice.
Immediate measurement of a space. So the closet, boop, boop. Didn't have to extend the tape.
Did not have to extend the tape.
No, the laser sight did it.
Nice.
And you can tell it, factor in your own self laser sight or unfactor in you and tell me what the results are.
Oh, nice.
So to measure the room.
I will say when Home Depot came and measured for carpet downstairs, she had this little light. And she's like, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
The light was doing like the Lord's work. She asked me to move 50 times.
Of course, this one was like $40. So I'm sure she had a nicer one because we actually had to use the measurements. But mine were to get these to fit.
They look so small in there.
Because, any higher, I wouldn't be able to use the top shelf. I could have gotten a wider one, but then it wouldn't have filled the whole thing.
The wider one went up?
Yeah, so like the wider one only went 2/3 of the way. But see, with two smaller ones, I could go almost all the way.
I feel like I would just close my eyes, put on.
Corey does not measure anything.
I got a keychain. It was too long for me.
What?
Amazon, I got to return it.
Wait, what was it?
I got this keychain. It was like made for Acura car keys. like it was accurate car keys with like all the buttons. Mine's missing one.
So stupid.
It was too.
Oh,
my
no.
keys were too short, but nothing lined up.
You're so crazy. That's what that little caliper measure is. So you can measure specific things. Now, here's what I'm going to get next, because you can't just buy one thing when you buy one thing. I'm going to get a scanner. So you know, when that guy like organized all his like tchotchkes in his drawer on TikTok? Did she send you that? But he makes them all, and everything fits perfectly in a 3D printed storage.
Okay.
It's because he scanned them. So you can say, scan this pen, then make a storage for this pen. The way it actually looks.
I feel like you have so much work to get to that
I
point.
am so horrified that I'm just spending money so I don't have to do anything.
I think you just need to turn the bad boy on.
I always do it. You're fantastic.
Do I have one? Oh, did I already say this? I got your straightener.
You did. Do you like it?
I haven't opened it. I haven't straightened my hair.
I haven't showered. Showered, never heard of her.
I'll shower tomorrow.
We gotta go to dinner.
Other than that, I know.
Mother's Day, Mom said bring her gifts on
Saturday.
Saturday.
No, it's gonna bake or something.
Oh, really?
But you guys don't eat my cookies anymore.
Side note, Twinterest. Did you guys know that xylitol is an artificial sweetener included in a lot of gum? Chew it. It kills the bacteria that causes cavity. It doesn't kill it. It staves it off. But I asked the dentist, and she was like, yeah, chewing on xylitol gum, not a ton, just sometimes, maybe once per day, really stops.
I was thinking something like once a week.
Yeah, didn't that? She just said if you eat too much of it, you'll be running to the restroom. It is a doo-doo. A doo-doo-doo. So, xylitol. No cavities today, guys. So follow me for more teeth cleaning tips.
No cavities. I don't think I have a very interesting Twinterest.
Come on.
I have the sprinkle tray thing.
Are you going to try it?
I'm going to unbox it this week and give it a go.
You're going to do it on a video?
I'm going to try. If it prints.
What,
if Eddie turns on.
You're supposed to leave him on.
He's plugged in.
Oh, yeah. That's what they said.
You don't have to leave him on.
Stop blushing with your hands on your